tomatoes are wonderful and forgiving. I always like to put 2 seeds per sow, guaranteed tomatage. If you plant them deeper, that will help to strengthen what stalk is above the ground. From there down, it'll all grow out roots. Welcome to the vibrant, scrumptious, weird, and wacky world of heirloom tomatoes. Before our modern-day supermarket tomato, there was another kind, called the heirloom tomato. While our supermarket tomatoes today are bred mostly for shipping, the heirloom tomato was bred for flavor. And I might add, for beauty. Heirloom tomatoes trace their lineage across centuries and continents. They're originally native to South America and were first cultivated by the Aztecs, then brought to Europe by Spanish explorers in the 16th century. By the 1800s, all kinds of varieties were being discovered and cultivated in American gardens.
Most people would grow the same varieties their parents grew, their neighbors grew, and that was the only variety. When the catalogs came out, suddenly there were 25 different kinds of tomatoes you could grow. Then suddenly I'm sharing seeds with my neighbors and everybody's coming to me wanting to know, where'd you get this?
An heirloom tomato is more than just old. Its open pollination makes it a living archive, building on its story from season to season.
An open pollinated variety just means that it's a stable variety. So when you grow it, you can harvest that seed and you're going to get the same thing or something very similar to what you are growing. It's not going to be a different color or a different size or a different flavor. It will pass on those traits year after year after year.
Heirlooms come in all shapes, sizes, and colors, and everyone has a favorite.
My number one and most favorite heirloom tomato is what they call a champagne tomato or the white currant from rareseeds.com.
My favorite one should be the California tulip tomatoes. When we slice it up, they do really look like those beautiful flowers and tulips.
The apricot zebra tomato.
My favorite tomato overall, the pineapple tomato. It is incredible.
It's basically a crime to just choose one.
I like the Stella because it's refreshing, it's crunchy, and it's very sweet.
This is a Hungarian heart.
Bread and salt tomato. Frad's atomic grape.
Berkeley tie-dye, it'd be like a slicing tomato.
It has to be the Lucky Tiger, the black cherry, Kellogg's Practice.
I have one variety which is my favorite. It's red and it has some wrinkles.
What's it called?
I need to get the name. I'll tell you the name.
So are the big one. But let's be perfectly clear, heirloom tomatoes are not bred for shipping or extended shelf life. They're bred for taste.
The heirlooms were selected basically for their great taste. Cherokee purples won't last 2 days after you pick them. You gotta eat them now. But the experience of eating one now outshines any tomato you can get that's, quote, commercially produced.
So growing tomatoes, there's definitely some science involved, but it's also fairly simple. When you're starting out, you're going to want a good potting mix like this, a seed starting mix, nice and airy for the seedlings to push through. And loamy soil is premium for your tomato plants, so it'll help them grow to their optimum growth levels.
To have the best success, it starts at the beginning. Here at the farm, we use a potting mix, but you can use a soil compost blend with a little bit of cocoa or peat moss with some kind of drainage material like pumice or perlite.
What we're doing here is we're measuring soil pH. How do you do it? Pretty simple. You take 25 milliliters of distilled water and you mix it to 25 grams of your soil that you want to test.
A pH between 6 and 6.8 is ideal for growing your tomatoes.
We're gonna make a slurry. It's important to use distilled water because there's no salts in the water. So everything that's gonna be extracted is from the soil. So we'll get a pretty accurate pH reading here.
Sound too much like science? You can just head down to your local cooperative extension office with some soil samples from your yard and ask them to test for your soil's pH.
So Our pH of our soil that we just tested is 7.4.
With a proper pH, you'll have better efficiency with nutrients, making sure that you have healthy living soil that is balanced and nurtured. The more you tend to your garden in a productive, organic way, you will see resilience and results that you will enjoy. You'll see success from year up year up year.
Starting your tomato seeds, you're going to start them indoors 6 to 8 weeks before the last frost date. You do need to keep them warm, 70 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit, and be sure to give them light and love.
The smaller the seeds are, the higher in the dirt I put them, just to give the seedlings a chance to pop out of the dirt.
A good rule of thumb is 8 weeks before your last frost, so it gives you about a couple months to get things established and really well. Now, if you have good grow lights and good soil and all that, the plants will be really healthy and take off. You might not need 6 weeks, maybe you want 4 weeks, but you want to at least get a nice, decent transplant that has true leaves. It gives a better head start, has a nice little root ball, and gets established in the garden.
When your plants are ready to go to the ground, you're going to need to work in some compost, worm castings, aged manure, something like that, before you actually do your planting. A healthy start is going to ensure you a flavorful finish.
We add a lot of organic matter on the get-go on the planting site, compost, chicken manures, etc. So you want to charge your soil with a real slow release organic material. High carbon is the key, okay? Carbon, you need carbon in your soil to have excellent growth.
Tomatoes love sunshine. They need 6 to 10 hours of sunlight on a daily basis. Be sure to plant them deep. Bury about 2/3 of the stem to promote some strong roots and some strong stalks on your plants.
Whatever touches the soil will grow out roots.
And so that'll just establish bigger root system, which means stronger plant.
Watering, very important. You're going to want to water deeply and consistently. About 1 to 1.5 inches per week should be good, and preferably in the morning. Also, please avoid getting the leaves wet to prevent any disease. You do need to be careful on your spacing. At least 18 to 24 inches apart should be good. Baker Creek offers many varieties of indeterminate tomatoes. And what that means is basically your plants are going to keep growing and keep producing fruits and blossoms throughout the season until they're killed by frost. Please note when you are ordering an indeterminate variety, because you will absolutely need trellising, otherwise your tomatoes will be very sad.
If you're growing an indeterminate plant, you got to have the space. Plan on it being large. It means plant them farther apart. You got to have some wind moving through them. If you get them packed too close together, you're going to end up with disease problems and poor production. So give them room.
We do also offer varieties that are determinants, which basically means they are short and they will only produce their fruits for so long during the season. So great for container gardening or anywhere short on space, but you can still get great fruit. Tomatoes thrive in temperatures between 65 and 85 degrees Fahrenheit. Cooler nights are fine, but frost is fatal. In hot climates, you can use shade cloth to help prevent blossom drop.
Depending on where you're at, June, July, August, sometimes into September, shade cloth is huge to protect the tomato plants from excessive sunlight. The tomato leaves tend to curl in excessive heat and they stop transpiring. So it shuts those pores down and sits there, basically fries. And then what also happens is you get blossom drop. So shade cloth helps prevent all of those things. Shade in like outdoor garden spaces is kind of difficult sometimes. There's a product called Surround WP. It's a kaolin clay based product, and it's like a whitewash basically. So you just mix this clay powder, and every time it rains you have to reapply, but it basically sets like a sunscreen on the leaf and acts as a shade. So it's a really effective way to help cool your plants down in the summertime.
Fertilize every 3 to 4 weeks with a balanced organic fertilizer or one lower in nitrogen once your fruit sets. If you have too much nitrogen, you'll get leaves but no fruit.
Here's the 2 secrets that you need to know. Tomatoes love magnesium. So the common way to apply magnesium is magnesium sulfate. It's OMRI certified organic. Every week to sometimes every 2 weeks. and your tomato size will like dramatically increase. And then the other huge thing that tomatoes love is calcium. So you've heard, oh, I have blossom end rot, my bottom of my tomatoes cracking. It's really prevalent in heirloom tomatoes. Adding those things into your fertilizer plan will help eliminate that.
So when to harvest your tomato? You'll go and give it a feel. If it's a little bit soft, like this one is, you'll know it's ready. And then I'm gonna go ahead and twist it. So there's a nice ripe one. Another tip is to not refrigerate your ripe fruits because that will affect their flavor. You're gonna store these at room temperature, put the stem side down. Remember that your heirloom tomatoes are going to be unique. They are not your marketplace tomatoes. Don't worry about the funny shapes. That's part of the heirloom charm.
In Kenyan, we call this cacho body. I take my big fat tomato slab right over the onions.
Try your tomatoes raw in salads, roasted in the oven, blitzed into a fresh sauce. Or my favorite way, drizzle of olive oil, pinch of salt, some pepper, leaf of basil. There we go. Oh, and this just in.
How about my
Forgot.
East African cacho body, the heirloom salsa? Such a delight.
Can I have a try?
Absolutely.
Okay. Let's see.
Oh, take a big old bite.
That's pretty good. Very full flavor. Wow, that was yummy.
Tell me that's not rare, and that's the way we roll.
Nice.
They don't last that long. They don't ship very well. They don't come all ripe at once. But I don't care about that. I want that tomato that just rocks your socks. That's what an heirloom is.
To keep the heirloom story alive, save your seeds. Plant them next year, and don't forget, this is more than a tomato. It's a living legacy, so pass them on.